friends. Well, here I am, the day after it all happened. I'm at a dear friend's apartment in New York. We finished up our work on the album yesterday, did our last song, tied up all the loose ends. It's been an incredible process. This is an unusual process, even in the music making world, that things move this quickly and that the production is cranked out in this way. And it was something that's been just such a thrill to be part of. It would have been a thrill just to be a fly on the wall, but to actually be involved and see how it's done, and be part of making it happen, to really kind of be in the driver's seat in some ways, and very much a passenger on a journey in other ways, and just seeing, oh, this is how you do this. It's been incredible. And we had a little cast get together last night, which I know was fated for me to be at, because it was literally planned for the same building that I am staying in. What are the odds? Two of the cast members of our show work at a bar that's in the same building that I live in when I come to New York, and have stayed in when I come to New York for the last 25, 30 years, forever. So we had a beautiful hang, a really lovely, and I just, what came back to me was I was one of the last people to leave, which again is very unusual for me. But, I live nearby. I was kind of like the last one to say goodbye to everyone, and there was just such a beautiful love. There was just total love, the natural in between. It's the only way I can describe it. It was just, and everybody was commenting on it. It wasn't like this was like my thing in my head. Everybody was like, they were joking about when the show goes to Broadway, how the reviews are going to talk about how there's just a little too much camaraderie, a little too much shared love among the cast. Like, even for theater, this is a little weird. So it was just beautiful, just beautiful. And something showed up this morning, kind of last night into this morning, where I also had a chance to meet some new people on this album that I had not met through the show. There's a couple of engineers, producers who are absolute wizards, and also incredible musicians in their own right, and also a couple singers. So had a great conversation with some people yesterday, and I'm just sitting here in this little, outdoor bar in New York, and I've been in this city many times over the years, and I was born here. I was born on this island, and the energy of it just feels like home. In this way that kind of makes no sense for somebody who has not lived in New York more than I have. I've only spent I spent a full year here, and then other than the first 3 or 4 years of my life, but I certainly would not call myself a New Yorker. But when I come here, it just feels like home, in a way that I can't really make sense of logically. But everybody's asking me, so what are you doing? Are you going to be bi-coastal? Are you staying out here? Are you coming out here? What do you do? Because and I had this moment where I felt like I just felt this pang of, I wanted to say yes so bad, but kind of couldn't realistically say, yes, I live it. I'm partly based in New York, based on the fact that I spent 9 days here in the last 4 years. But at the same time, I'm having this kind of resonance with the energy and with the people and with the industry, because it's just there's no other place where this is happening. It's just not. I mean, there may be pockets, but it's not like this. So I had that going on, and then I came up and went to bed and fell asleep and kind of was, and I had and I woke up this morning, and again I was kind of feeling this pang, and then something settled. It was as soon as I started to meditate. It was when I sat down to meditate and I went into stillness, and there was a moment of where my mind, kind of like the frazzled mind, kind of just stepped aside for a moment, and my body, it's like my core, said, Robin, just trust. Trust. Be still and trust. You think you're going to be denied anything you might need? You think that this energy that is not coming from you, I'm tapping into it. You think that that's somehow not available to you because you can't tell people that logistically you live in New York? It was just this, and immediately I felt totally empowered and totally abundant in my access to everything I need, and just relaxed. It relaxed me back into a sense of course I'm gonna get what I need. If I need to be here, I'll get here. It's just a sense that nothing can be lost. And furthermore, in a weird way, it's like this piece that we've created is not an expression of New York. It's not a very New York-y piece. It's based in East Germany in the 80s. And I draw on a lot of my background from that part of my life, and everything I have experienced everywhere I've lived flows into the work I'm doing. And I have constant contact with people here, almost daily, certainly for the last couple months. So it was kind of like, it just gave me a nice reset as far as the idea that I could be in the wrong place, or that I could somehow miss out on anything that was genuinely important to my development, to my expression as a human being. It was like it just took that, because there's this, and I think this happens not just with like where we live or logistics like that, but there's a sense that maybe there can be, when we're sort of like off center, there can be a sense that maybe we're not getting what we need, or we're not where we need to be, or we're not maybe a door is closed that we so dearly wish were open. And sometimes we need to feel that. Sometimes we do need to feel the emotion of that change, of what might feel like a loss. It's not that we want to repress kind of a genuine emotion in any way, but underneath emotion, underneath thought and emotion is everything, is the basis, the body of our spiritual essence, and the core unit that's moving through a journey of karma, you know, of memory, of background, of circumstance. Nothing that we need can be denied. It literally can't be done. So that's nice to remember. That's just good to remember, and to, because then I can allow the because the other thing that happens when if that sort of feeling of you know, of a closed door, if the illusion of a closed door is allowed to persist, it dampens our enthusiasm. It prevents us from the open-hearted dive into life, because we're hedging against what we might not get, or what we hope we, you know, don't know if we deserve, or might not have the access, you know, the whole mind game of all that. And that's what prevents us from going through the door. That's the thing that actually slows us down, and that actually causes friction. And it still we ultimately can't deny ourselves anything that we need, but we can delay it for a while. We can postpone it. But we're doing it to ourselves. It's our sense of attachment that's doing that. It's never the universe. The universe just, I mean, if I look at how I can talk about this project right now, because it's the most recent and very present in my awareness iteration of this, but things are just handed. The universe just says, okay, here, try this store. You know, it's generally gentle. It's generally and it's so perfectly elegantly constructed that we almost miss it. You know, we catch it better in retrospect, because in retrospect you can see the pattern of breadcrumbs and where they were obviously leading. Whereas when you're actually looking at the next breadcrumb, it's not so obvious where it's leading. But that's why I think my morning meditation gift was trust. So that's where I've landed. That's where I've landed before I take off and go back home and see Gideon on all these who I miss so much. It's going to be amazing to get back and dive into the next phase. Thanks for watching, folks. Appreciate you. Love you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.